do it. Recording started.
All right. Hi, guys. Welcome to our Hot Seat series. I am Katrina Scott. I'm so excited for today's call. Jess and I met a long time ago at a New Year's Summit, and it's just a funny coincidence because Maddie was there as well. And we kind of all went running from that point forward. So it's kind of cool to see us all working together, doing this specific hot seat call with you guys around the same time that we were all together for the first time. So with that being said, I come to you from my mobile office. That's so hilarious. My kids up. And we have feedback. So first off, I want to introduce you guys. I'm sure you guys know these amazing women, but just in case, let's do it. We have Jessica LaNier. She's been a coach for 4.5 years. She is a 2-time premier coach and already locked in Elite 2021. So fabulous job, Jess. And next we have Miss Maddie. She is one of the amazing I get to work with on a daily basis. And Maddie is also a premier coach, but locked in Elite 2020 already. Freaking amazing, you guys. Like, no stress in December for either of these rock stars, which is amazing. So with that, we're going to go ahead and kick off some of our but before we do quick, I'm going to let them kind of share a little bit about their stories and introduce a little bit more of themselves. So whoever wants.
Maddie, go ahead and go first. I'm working on muting people.
Okay, sounds good. Hi guys, I'm Maddie. I, like she said, been coaching for 3 years. I started this business when I was 20 years old. I was in college playing college volleyball. You don't make a lot of good choices when you're in college, but somehow this landed into my lap and it was the best dang choice I've ever made. And I didn't have fast success. Like, I kind of just took it as like the turtle in the race. It took me a year to hit diamond, but then once I realized what I was capable of, I hit it in 10 days in my spouse account. And then the next year we ended as a 2-star premier team. And then this year, 6 months into the year, we started at a paid diamond like in July, we hit 5-star elite. So it's crazy what's capable when you mentally make the decision. I just got into PT school, so I'm starting PT school in July, so physical therapy. So that's a 3-year program. And my goal from day one has just been able to pay for PT school out of pocket without getting student loans. And so insert income disclaimer, but this business has been able to pay for already half of that tuition, which is around $100,000. In just like 3 years, I've been able to save that. So pretty incredible. But yeah, it's a little bit about me.
Whoa, that's amazing. You are so cool. I love hearing these stories. They're so inspiring and encouraging to me because everyone's is a little bit different. My name is Jessica. This is my Maddie. This is Madison. She is 4 months old. And she runs pretty much all calls with me because I have also a 2- and 4-year-old. And when I started, my firstborn, who just turned 5, was about this age. So it's crazy to think back. When I started, I was actually working full-time as a registered nurse in prison. I had just had my first baby, like I just said. And I graduated nursing school in 2009. Always knew I wanted to be in the career of helping people for a living. Long story short, I was hit by a drunk driver when I was little, when I was 11, and that whole experience of being in a coma, my dad passed away from malpractice complications. I knew that I wanted to be in the field of helping prevent preventable suffering. I didn't know what that looked like, but at the time I thought it was nursing, and that's why I went to nursing school, got into nursing school, got super sick, and got into the field of nursing and realized it wasn't as fulfilling as I thought it would be for what I wanted, which was that ending preventable suffering. And so I struggled with, I became a certified holistic health coach, learned a lot about nutrition, healed my own self from hormonal imbalances that were crazy in my late teens and early 20s, and digestive disorders that they couldn't figure out. They thought I had a brain tumor, all this crazy stuff. And I was able to restore my health. And so nutrition, holistic healing, hormonal balance, gut health became a huge passion of mine because of my own experience, and I saw a huge need for it. I had to make money though, and I ended up in prison and working in corrections, which is like, everyone was like, you smile way too much to work in prison. Like, that's crazy. It was very interesting to say the least. But after I had my kid was when I was like, I can't do this for my whole life. And it was around the same time I was diagnosed with a degenerative disc in my low back. And I saw this random chicks before and after pictures pop up on Facebook. Send those cold friend requests because we had no friends in common. And it was my coach now, Elizabeth Hartkey. And I was like, I want her mom bod. She had just had a baby and finished 22-minute hardcore test group. Reached out to her. I said, I want the coach account because this is my third time signing up with a coach account. I knew nothing about there being any kind of business, anything the first 2 times. I just wanted the discount. So I told her, I just want the discount. I want the challenge pack because I know that's the cheapest. I want nothing to do with coaching, so don't even try. I'm basically thought I was way above Beachbody, way better than anything that this network marketing company could put together for health. And then I dove into it and I started researching Shakeology and I followed the program. I got incredible results in 8 weeks, and I referred like my friends and family members, made my first $200 within a week, and was like, wait a second, what is this? And I had a call with her and she had me make some goals. I'm living in a construction zone also, so there's that. And I've never looked back. I've never, since the month I signed up just for the discount, I have never missed Success Club. And I've worked full-time as a nurse for my first 2 years with kids at home, retired from nursing to coach full-time, 2 years in a coaching business, insert business income disclaimer. And now this business is sustaining our family, and we just moved our family to a different state, and I've got 3 little kids, and life is crazy, but I am so thankful for what this business has done for our life and the fulfillment factor. That's my intro.
I love it. You guys, we on the call. Just those 2 stories are like, inspired. Go get to work, right? Go make it happen, because that's what both of these ladies have done. And I love watching and hearing their stories. So since today we are talking about how to master the invite to enrollment process, we have some questions prepared for both of them so they can kind of we'll toggle between you guys. But one of the questions we see a lot is, do you have a specific system? Like, do you follow a script through the enrollment, and do you assist your coaches in doing this? Or is it all just part of the process? So like, walk us through maybe what you do and how much you do. You don't have to tell us all your steps into the invitation process, but go ahead, Matt, she says. What do you do in that process?
My process is definitely ever changing. I know as a new coach, I remember feeling like that word vomit where you want to tell everyone everything about this business, even though like to keep it simple and short is the most effective. I just want to tell them everything because there's so much value. But now most of the time it goes from connecting to them watching my stories. And that's the easiest way to just insert some type of connection and an invite. My invites are very simple. It's like, hey, is this a better month for you to get started? That's kind of more of my follow-up, but I'm just like straight to the point. Like, you've been watching, are you interested in my boot camp? And then they're like, what's a boot camp? And then I can kind of further explain it. But I use other tools such as like, I have a website landing page for each program that's launching. And so it has information about that. It has the sample workout in there. And then it has a video of me explaining what you get exactly in your package. I like have the things in my hands. Like I have my Shakeology because I'm using all the products. And then it has a form that gives them the option, what they want to choose. They fill it out, and then I enroll them using ShareCart. It's very simple, but this isn't to say like you need to go make a website. I think the simpler it is, the better. But I find that when I have a video of me talking about it and getting excited about my boot camp and sharing it less than 5 minutes, it goes so much farther than words and having to have this conversation on Instagram every single time that I'm like saying something. It's like, oh, okay, asking this question, and then it gets drawn out. So that's kind of how I do it. I just keep it very like short and sweet. And then I just write down people's names as soon as I send them information.
I love that. So you go from they want more information and you direct them straight to the landing page that then has like their step-by-step.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. With videos, which is so much better connection than all these words because they get a feel of who you are outside of like your Instagram or Facebook. So that's amazing. Jess, do you do something different?
Will you repeat the first part of the question because I want to make sure I answer it correctly?
Sure. Do you have a specific system, you know, and follow like script to enrollment? Like, are you cutting and pasting scripts? Are you like, what's the process?
Gotcha. Okay, so I have kind of done things. I never had a system and then acted from that system. Kind of like what Maddie was saying, like keeping things really simple, and it's ever evolving thing. And I'm sure you guys know that everyone does this a little bit different. So don't ever think that there's a black and white, only one way to do this right. My personality is someone who's very much like action. I just do things and then I figure out what I did wrong after the fact. So I literally just outlined my system for my team. And I'm going to share this. I'm going to share it with all the coaches to send out to you guys. And if you want, Katrina, should I share my screen really quick and I'll just touch the six steps that I go through?
Sure, babe.
Okay. I'll share that with you guys. And again, I'm going to go through this really quickly, but just know that I'm going to send this out to all the coaches so that you guys can have it. So number one is, and I have like a separate recording on this too, but number one is checking. I have to check first my mindset and my belief. Do I believe what I'm inviting to? Do I believe in what I'm sharing? Do I believe that it's incredibly affordable? And I have questions here that you can go through. Do I believe that what we do works? When people actually drink the Shakeology and do the workouts and follow the nutrition program, do I believe that they're going to get results? Do I really believe in coaching? Do I really believe in Energize? Do I really believe that Shakeology is actually it should be priced more for what's in it? Like, do I believe in these things? And that has to come first. People get wrapped up in like the scripts and what you're asking and what words you're using, but your belief has to come first. Number two, on social media, what does my presence say about me and what I believe? Am I just posting about my kids, or am I posting about how this shake helps me be a better mom? Am I posting about how I haven't slept through the night in 5 years and I'm so thankful for, the community I'm a part of, that for the superfoods that help support my endocrine system, and the fact that I don't have time all the time to make a healthy meal, so I'm thankful for who I am because of Beachbody. And communicating that in social media. So I'm communicating every day that value, not just a price, not just a workout. What does that workout do for me? Am I communicating that? And if you don't have those first two, the next 4 steps don't really matter because they're not going to have very much power behind them. And so number 3 is, this is what my personal invites usually look like. And I have kind of 2 sections here because when you're brand new, your goal is to keep things super simple. Like, you're just telling people, I have no idea what I'm doing. I literally just bought this challenge pack and I'm learning what it is, and check out the results this chick just got. We should do this together. This is what I got. This is what you should do. It's like, this is how I started. This is how you started. So you're keeping it super simple. As you evolve, you can use things like a form, and that's what I use as a Google form. It's free. And I tell people, anyone who wants to work with me, I say, absolutely. First, make sure that they know I hear them. Absolutely. I would love to help you in whatever they reached out to me for or whatever they responded to a poll on. I would absolutely love to support you. Would you do me a favor and fill out this quick form? This helps me get a better idea of what you are looking for, what your goals are, what your roadblocks are, so to make sure I make the best recommendation for what you need. And note the verbiage in there. This is about them. This is not about me. This is not about me making a transaction. This is about them and how I can help them get a transformation. What is the problem I am solving for them? That's what my conversations are always geared towards. So I send that invite. I'll send them the form. When they say yes or no, I have a built-in response. And as far as the part of that question that was, do you assist your coaches in that? This is what I've given to my team, and I will help them if they get stuck. But I'll give them options. Like if they say yes. So sorry, going back really quick. I love ending a question with, can I send you more information? Rather than, are you interested? And I've heard a couple coaches say this, and that shift, you guys, makes a big difference. Because if you have something like Maddie was saying, like a video or a landing page or a Google Doc or a write-up or anything that's already set up, it makes your life so much faster and easier. And you say, can I send you more information about this? And they'll say, sure, absolutely. Or no, thanks. And then that's fine, right? But then they say, yes, I'd like more information. And you say, okay, awesome. And I have a couple, which I'll send this out. I have a couple responses if they want more information, or if they say no, don't take that personal. So many coaches take that personal. Instead, offer them value and say, okay, no problem. Thanks again for your support. In case you're a taco lover like me, I want to share this awesome resource with you. And it's a link to Beachbody On Demand's taco recipes, right? I will say that I invite people who like my posts or who respond on my stories or who are constantly watching my stories. I don't personally send a lot of cold invites if people aren't engaging on my stuff already. If they're engaging on my stuff already, then I know that they're interested in what I'm doing, or they wouldn't be constantly watching and constantly following and acting out on things. And then I track them. Obviously, you need a tracking system. And then following up 7 to 10 times is what, like, research has shown they need 7 to 10 follow-ups before they make a decision, even if they ghost you. So, but all of that to say, it goes back to, you have to believe in what you're doing before anything, or it doesn't matter.
Absolutely. I love that. I think starting with mindset, it's the same thing that I think a lot of us tell our teams of, like, stand up, jump around, drink your Energize before you send those invites. Remember why you do it and get excited about the gift we have, and that helps you share it. Okay, so you guys kind of touched on this, but I think we need to put it maybe a little more detailed as far as what you do. Like, once they say they're interested and they want to move forward and you send them to that, are you using, I know Jessica just said a form, Maddie's using some video and voice messages and not typed at all. But when that question comes through, I want you guys to think about, it's based on how your business works best. You know, there's different ways we can streamline this, but I think I can answer for both of them that it might have taken them a little while to get a landing page. It might have taken them a little while to create the Google form. So don't feel like you have to do it a certain way. Just like they both said, keep the wording short and simple. Don't feel like you have to write a novel and give them every single detail. So I kind of answered that one for you based off their previous answers. So a good one we got, moving on to the next one, would be, when you get an objection during the process, what do you do first in handling it?
I love what Jessica just said in her thing, because I do something very simple, and I didn't for a while. I used to just say, like, okay, no worries, I'll check back later. But I didn't give them any value for them to, like, want to continue to watch. They just were kind of discredited. But when I started saying, hey, like, can I still send you a couple sample workouts to do? Because I know money's kind of your objection right now. At least you have some workouts to try. Or like Jessica was saying, like, hey, maybe you're a taco lover like me. I can send you some recipes to try. Or I'll send them the meal plan I provided for my group that week. And just giving them something extra to remember, like, there's probably another coach out there that's probably slid into their DMs. And to make yourself stand out a little bit more, you're giving them value before they even say yes to you. And when they think about the new year coming up and they do have an extra $200 to spend on their health and fitness, they're going to come to you because you didn't just say, okay, no worries, and just slid them past the door. And I think so many coaches miss that piece of handling the objection. And also going onto your stories or going onto your page and publicly talking about that objection. Jess,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, I think what you had said at the end there too, Maddie, is exactly what I was going to share. Use every no and every objection as a learning opportunity. If people have objections, again, this goes back to your belief. If people say it's too expensive, do you think it's too expensive? And if you don't, then take the responsibility on your social media to educate people as to why it's not. And so for me, and this, I did an Instagram video, I don't remember, like a month ago, on making your struggle your superpower. And if I have one piece of advice in this business, is to do that. Identify your weak areas and then make them your strengths, make them your strong points. So if you keep getting objections about one thing, do trainings on it, upload them to your IGTV, upload them to YouTube, and teach people why it's not, it's usually, not all the time, but usually a misconception, right? People don't want to be coaches because they don't want to be salesy. That's not what we do. So, but if people think that, I feel like that's on me if they think Shakeology is expensive, or if they think that coaching is something that it's not, or if they think that our workouts don't work. That's on me. That's actually not on them. So I like to use objections as a really powerful learning tool, because then you know what where your market is and what their stopping blocks are, and then you can do something about it. Being that solutions oriented person. And then if you're constantly talking about it on social media and they're following you, then you're third part, like inadvertently telling them that they're wrong, like without saying, actually, it's not expensive because blah, blah, blah. Like you're telling them the alternatives. I did a training call for my team on 5 ways we're better. 5 different ways that I think that we as a company and our approach is better than other things out there. Have you ever compared what they have for options in fitness, what they have for options for nutritionists or meal plans, what they have for options for supplements, what they have for options for health coaching, what they have for options for a community, and then compared that to what we offer in one place for one price? That's insane, you know? So that's kind of how I handle objections.
I love that. And I think by always talking about the value we provide in snippets is, you know, the best way to combat those objections on a daily basis. And it gives you something to post about. So kind of leading off of that, and it ties into kind of the other one. So I'm just going to hit this one now. When someone says they want details, so now they're beyond interested, sure, tell me the details, tell me more about it. How do you describe everything we offer without scaring them off?
Jess, you can start.
You can start. What'd you say?
So you can start.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, cool. So usually when I have someone say, yes, I love the details, I usually keep things, I like to either, it depends on how the conversation's flowing. If it's flowing for me to send them my form, I always do that first, 100%. I think that as a professionals, oh, that was just puke all over. You're welcome. It sounds way more professional when you ask questions before you offer solutions. Because if you offer solutions without knowing what someone's goals are, you could come across as not that smart. So for example, if someone's goal is actually to gain weight and you tell them I have a weight loss program, then they're going to say this isn't for me. But we know this is customizable based on the person's goals. So I usually always direct them to my form before giving them information. But when I'm sending them a share cart and I'm explaining what I'm offering, I explain that we have a unique 5-part approach to whole comprehensive health and fitness. We have efficient, or we have, oh my gosh, we have nutrition, blah, blah, my brain. We have intentional nutrition, that's the word I was thinking for, efficient fitness. We have supplementation, which I believe, and this is just my snippet with my background, that we're all stressed out. Exactly. We are not getting enough nutrition. We have toxic overload. So we need supplementation to help us feel and be our best selves, right? So there's 3. 4th is coaching. we are the people that help them do the things they need to do to get results. And fifth is the accountability piece. I use James Clear a lot, where he talks about atomic habits and needing your best chance of success is immersing yourself in a culture where the cultural norm is the new habit you're trying to adapt. And I know I just explained a lot, but I use those 5 things a lot, and you can just number them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what I have to offer: nutrition, fitness, supplementation, coaching, and community. And that is something that's very unique. And all of a sudden you're establishing value through those 5 things. So people don't just think that this is just a home workout program. So that's usually what I use.
I put a little script in the chat box. This is what I use for probably like 2.5 years, like maybe the last 6 months. I haven't been using this because I use the video now, but I use this exact same thing and just changed it boot camp to boot camp. I think it's like straight to the point. It tells you exactly what you're going to get, the value, without the overload of like your mind being like, oh my God, what are all these things? And that's usually when someone's like, okay, like I tried the sample, like, so what does it look like? And so then I explain, like, this is what my boot camp looks like. This is everything you're getting. And so if you're on the go and you don't have time to voice memo or video message, that's sometimes a good option. But now that I have that YouTube video, or however you want to do it, sometimes using that resource is a way for you to not feel like you know everything, especially when you're talking about coaching. If people think you know everything, they're going to automatically assume they'll never be as good as you, because you're a master at this and you know everything. Even though you've been doing it for a long time and they haven't, they're going to assume that they'll never be at that level as a coach, and then they already start at this lower spot. And so making it super simple and having these systems, it's the easiest way for those coaches to jump in and then just start going. We'll send the recording after too. Sorry, I saw that message come up.
Yes, I love that. Okay, so this one's kind of a little different, but after I invite, they're always surprised it costs money. So even though I explain it's my new work from home gig or something similar to that, is there any advice for like how we get it across that this is, that it costs money to start, maybe before you send the invite? I added some onto that, but anyone want to take that?
I mean, I used to get this objection all the time in college because people don't have a big budget. You're balling on a budget. And that's what I hate talking about retention. Like, don't ask me to do that because it's really hard to get 20-year-olds to continue to order Shakeology. But I think for me, it was just showing what you get in my bootcamp, screen recording what the check-in process looks like, and adding more value than just you working out, because people know that you can go to YouTube and get a workout, but it's not just the workouts. It's the community that you get. It's the access to a coach. It's the nutritionals. And so if you're not talking in depth about your bootcamp at least once a week and giving them everything that they need to know, they're never going to understand the value. And that goes with any money objection. They won't understand the value, and they're going to think it's overpriced because they don't get it. But we know that it makes sense because we're using so many other tools than just sharing a 15-second workout clip. And I think that's how I've been able to get away from so many money objections, is because I'm just talking constantly about every aspect of value and not just the workouts.
I think that's really important. And also what you had said too, that I wanted to point out, is that like, whoever goes to a doctor's appointment and doesn't expect to pay, when we portray what we're doing as something that's free, then people are going to think it's free. But when you portray what you're doing, that you actually, this is your business. I talk about coaching all the time as a career. This is my career that I've chosen. It's a very unique and outside of the box career, but it is my career. That's what I'm building. Then people will respect you like a business owner. But if you don't respect yourself and you don't show up as a business owner, then a lot of times people will be very confused. And granted, I know in the beginning, when you're a brand new coach and you might just be using referral codes, like this is just an affiliate account, you're joining like my team's group, and that's totally fine too. But if you're getting this objection a lot, then maybe look at how you're portraying yourself and what you do, and And do you value your own time? As a health coach before Beachbody, I used to charge $100 per session, and all that included was my time and like my recommendations in that moment. So I have a unique perspective on the insane value that we have as coaches. How many of you know people who buy 10 bags of Shakeology and they put them in their pantry and they're like, Shakeology doesn't work. And I'm like, oh, you have to put it in your body, right? So that's the value of a coach, is to have someone that's like, hey, I'm waking up at 4:30 in the morning to be on Zoom for a 4:45 a.m. workout. You gonna join me? I know you could do it, right? That's the value, is you're actually helping them do the things. So value yourself, and other people will value you too.
I love all of it. All of it. All of it. All of it. Okay, so this one I think we get all the time. How many times and how often are you guys following up? And what do you do with the people that ghost you? How do you keep them on your follow-up list? Or how often do you follow up with them?
I'll go real quick. I would say, I mentioned this before, but 7 to 10 times. Usually research has, that's not just like a number I made up. Research has shown that people need 7 to 10 touch points before they make a decision. And I will say that the number one fear or objection I hear from coaches about following up that much is, I don't want to bug them. I don't want to be pushy, right? And of course we don't, but tell me, who cares more? Someone who over the course of a year has periodically checked in with someone who said they were potentially interested and then didn't follow up and then didn't ever respond? Does the person care more if they continue to pursue that person and say, hey, I'm still here for you, is there any way I can support you? Or the person who gives up and follows up one time and then says, oh, screw them, I guess that they weren't really serious. To me, and I've had so many people, and I bet you other vintage coaches, people have been around for over a year, can tell you that people have told me, thank you so much for not giving up on me. I have heard that message so many times, more than once, for following up with people over the course of 2 years. Thank you so much for not forgetting me. Yeah, exactly what Ash said, for not giving up on me, for believing in me. You have no idea this rough season that I was going through, and I just really appreciate you showing up. I watch you every day on Instagram, and your consistency has really breathed life into me. Those are the messages I get, and I have never gotten someone ever in 4.5 years tell me, you're being annoying, please stop messaging me. But even if I did get that message, I would tell them, bye, no problem. I am happy to take you off of my list. The last, usually when it gets close to like the 7th to 8th follow-up, I'll usually tell them, hey, Gwenda, it's me again. I really don't want to be that person that keeps bugging you in your inbox. That's not who I am and not what I'm about. But I want to make sure that I show up on my end and give you every opportunity if you're still looking for this kind of support. If not, that's totally fine. Please let me know and I'll take you off my follow-up list. Usually that always gets a response. Oh my gosh, no, I'm so sorry, it's been so busy. But don't be afraid to just be honest with people.
I love that. Maddie, do you have anything to add to that? Or how often you follow?
I think she hit it on the head, but I'd say like literally every month, if I sent a message on November 7th, I'm sending another message on December 7th. Like, they're still watching, they're on my stories. Like, I'm going to keep messaging them until they unfollow me or tell me to F off. And I am here for you until you don't want me to be here for you. And then I don't care, right? Like, I'm here till you say yes or not. But one of my Star Diamond coaches I followed up with for 12 months through an entire pregnancy. I was the first person she told she got pregnant, 9 months of her pregnancy journey. And as soon as she was done, I still followed up and she signed up and she became a 1-star diamond this year. Like, follow up with people. And if you disappear and you go bye-bye, like, someone else is going to be following up with them and they're going to sign up with them. So make sure that you're here ready to follow up.
Absolutely. There's a reason why they say the fortune's in the follow-up. Until you get pretty much denied, blocked, cut out, whatever, continue to follow up. Okay, so what do your messages look like for people who have been laid off or are temporarily having to close their business due to the pandemic and all the craziness in the world? Like, I think we're all dealing with this across the board. But you know, what does your invite and messages look like right now during this crazy time?
Okay, I'll go. So a couple things that I would share is, you know, people are looking at the holidays, at the final quarter of the year, at people being financially strapped, and they see lack. Like, they see the hardship, they see the struggle, and if you only choose to see that, it's going to be hard in your business. I see right now, and I see an abundance of opportunity. I see people who are terrified of losing two things in their life: their health and their financial security. What do we offer people? Investment in their health and financial security in a market that the demand is way higher than the coaches, the active working coaches that we have. If anything, I see there has never been a better time to be a coach in our company. Now, granted, I know that there are different technical things that we have up against us, whatever, but there has never, ever been a time that people need the community more than they need it now. People are in isolation, anxiety, depression, suicide is skyrocketing. And if you see that, and if you go and look up health statistics, we did a team call on this. Let's look up the obesity, the diabetes, the anxiety, depression, and suicide rates right now. And then you tell me that now is not a good time to be a Beachbody coach or to be a part of our challenge groups that we're running. It is black and white right now that people need us more than ever. And if you lead with that conviction, people will believe you and they'll want to be a part of what you're doing. And they're going to see the value, not just in a challenge pack and not just in a workout, but in their quality of life. They're going to see that they need this kind of support and positivity in their life. And the same comes to on the business end. How many people do you know that are like doing anything to go find side work right now? This is a side work, like this is a side job in a market that like we need coaches so bad. So lead with that and inviting to coaching. Again, it goes back to what I was talking about. Like, you have to believe and you have to see it. And this isn't like you need to believe in Santa Claus. This is like, open your eyes right now to the world that we're living in and the anxious state that the world is in. Do you think that you can play a role in helping someone else find security and find peace and find community in that? If so, then lead with that. From a tactical perspective, I personally always lead with the challenge pack because it's a no-brainer to me when it comes to what you get for the money. That being said, if someone truly is like cannot afford a challenge pack, lead with that and then downsize. If they're like, I'm so sorry, like I see the value, I want to do this, but I just can't right now, no problem. What about let's just start you with one piece and start them with one piece and start them with whether it's a quarterly bod, can they afford a sampler of Shakeology, can they afford Energize? And then when people have a financial situation, hello, coaching opportunity. And don't think that this is selfish of you. And a lot of coaches, I see them do that. They hesitate to bring up coaching. They think it's selfish. It's not about you, Glenda. It's about the person that you're talking to. This could change their life. Has this changed your life? And if so, this could change their life. So why would you not offer it to them? Have you heard Danielle Natoni's story? Have you heard of the coaches that have started on food stamps and they end up making 6 to 7 figures in this business? If another human has done it with the same 24 hours in a day, the same 7 days a week, then that means anyone could do it if they want it bad enough. You just have to give them the opportunity.
All right. Good job. I don't have nothing else to say to that.
Except mic drop, right? Boom!
Boom.
Okay, well, on that note, we'll move on to the next question. What do your invites look like when you want to attract working coaches versus discount coaches?
I can start on this one. Honestly, it's funny, like it kind of goes back to last question too, but this week alone, I've recruited 3 working coaches because of everything that's going on. And not because I'm sending them direct invites to coaching, but because I talk about coaching on a daily basis. And so when they're watching my stories, it's so easy to be like, hey, have you ever thought about coaching? And I keep it, again, so simple. I'm very simple. But what I do differently is that I go in with a video message or a voice message. If you think about it, there are so many people messaging you right now, right? Like you're getting so many of the same, probably similar text messages in your DMs. And if you go in with a personal touch, something different, it's going to stand out. Yesterday, I had a girl tell me that she's literally had 6 messages of people this week alone, asking her to sell Airbond, It Works, whatever, all the different things. And she's like, you're the only one that's done different because you noticed that I'm on a fitness journey and you asked about my fitness journey and you asked what I like to do with lifting. And then you talked to me about what this would look like because I'm a gym junkie and that I like being in the gym. You didn't just send me the message that everybody else sent me. And that's different. And for her to go out of her way and say that, I just encourage you to not just look at somebody else and how they're doing it and find a way that works for you. Be personal. Every message that I send about coaching is different because every single person that comes into my coaching opportunity is different. They all have different expertise. They all have different career backgrounds. And I think it's just so important that we see them as the individual that they are and not just the challenge pack, not just, oh my God, I got another SC point for 9-week control freak and my coach is going to be so proud of me. I think it's one of the things that frustrates me the most, but also it's like we see that they have so much potential. We have to go at them at a different way.
Yes, I totally echo that. I think for me, I'll be honest, the first 2.5 years of my business, I built it on all discount coaches, and it was difficult. And so I've always, like, you guys, I told you I started as a discount coach. I wanted nothing to do with business. So I have a lot of people who start that way because to me, I'm like, the discount, why wouldn't you? So that's what I recommend. At the bottom of my form, I have a question that says, would you like a discount membership? I explain it. It's just like Costco, like you pay a membership fee and you get 25% off of anything. And I have yes, no, maybe for them to choose from. And then after that, I ask if they would be interested in actively coaching and joining our team of leaders and to run a side business with this. And I have yes, no, maybe. And so that on my form is really helpful because I know I ask them, like, they're interested in working out with the fitness portion. I send them my form and then they tell me that they might be interested. So I know how to follow up from there. And then just like what Maddie's saying, it is everything to talk about coaching in your social media, and not just about like become a Beachbody coach, because that means nothing to anyone. You have to share how it's changed your life. How has coaching impacted your life? Even if you're brand new, talk about the community, talk about that you love being creative. You can talk about how you're learning so much about a job that you never even knew the opportunity existed. I talk about that a lot. Talk about how you're doing power hours or power half hours, and talk about those, and then create something, whether it's a sneak peek or a webinar or a conversation, where you have to show up and you're constantly inviting people. And for myself, I know myself well enough to know that I need routine. So I decided every Saturday for the whole team, I'm doing a 7 a.m. sweat session, and anyone can come. They don't have to be part of our team. I share my screen and we do a workout together at 7, and then at 8 a.m. we do a coffee chat about coaching, and I have like some slides and I just share a little bit of my story. It's usually like 30 to 40 minutes. I talk about coaching and I invite people, and that's every single week through the end of the year. We started, I don't remember, a month or 2 months ago. And because I have to show up and because I have to teach about coaching every single week and I have to upload that to YouTube every single week, I obviously am going to have more people thinking that what I'm doing is a legitimate job, and that repetition of offering that opportunity is really powerful. And again, I'm 4.5 years in and I just started doing this. So I would encourage you to be creative and just continue to share why this opportunity is different. And if you don't know, then learn about it and then teach about it.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, so how or what is a good way to transition from just connecting to inviting?
I was like, Maddie, I can't find you.
My
think her Wi-Fi might.
Oh, there you are.
You'd have to repeat the question, or go ahead.
Repeat the question. Yes. What's a good way to transition, or how do you transition from connecting to inviting?
Oh my gosh. Can you guys hear me? I'm sorry. Like my computer like did weird things. And then I lost Maddie and now I find her. Okay, so for me, this goes back to like the number 1 and number 2 things I was talking about on those 6 steps to inviting to enrollment. I show up on my social media every day. It's not a surprise to people what I do. And so if I'm constantly, think of connecting as like literally your job to make friends with people. Like Maddie was saying, ask about their life, ask about their kids, literally just make friends with people, and it will come up. They will watch your stories. And if you're constantly in your stories sharing about your routine and what it does for you, a lot of times they're actually going to reach out to you if you're consistent over time. And if you have this joy in you because of the life that like you're being a product of the product, then that is going to make a huge difference in them really wanting to reach out to you. But as far as when I reach out to them, I create opportunities for it to be really simple. Like if I'll do a post and if they like it, I'll reach out to them. Hey, thanks so much for liking my post yesterday about my nutrition plan or whatever, about my cauliflower nachos, whatever. And then I'll say something like, man, I have to tell you this nutrition plan is bomb.com for busy moms. Have you ever followed any kind of nutrition plan? It's like, just be a normal human being. How would you talk to someone in the grocery store? Or if they like my fitness post, hey, thanks so much for your support on my fitness post yesterday. I'm absolutely loving this program. I'm not sure if you saw, but I'm starting a brand new one called 9-Week Control Freak that's going to be epic January 4th. You should totally do this with me. I would love to have you in my group. And I send an invite with the anticipation and the mindset that they're going to do it with me, which is different than expecting them to come back at you with a objection or with a no. If you put yourself in the mindset that they're going to say yes, you're going to speak differently than if you're expecting failure. So that's just like a side note there, but that's how I go from connecting to inviting.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny that we like even talk about this because it's just be natural. Like just go with what happens. Like you're going to send an invite and be like, maybe I sent it too early or maybe I should have waited, and you're going to doubt yourself, but do it anyways. Like no coach got to where they are because they were never uncomfortable about sending an invite. We've all felt that uncomfortableness, especially around inviting someone to coaching, but you're going to have to do it. So you might as well just start doing it, and you'll start to feel a rhythm of like, oh, okay, like maybe I did do that one a little bit early. So let me wait, try and make more of a connection so that it's easier to push into, or it's easier just to slip it in. And I find that the more that I'm connecting and engaging on their stories, the more likely I'm finally allowed to have not a robot tap on my poll for more information. Because I know we all do that. And some of us feel like nobody ever takes the poll. But when they trust you and they believe in you, they're going to tap the poll. And I always test it because then I'll do polls or questions about random things about like tacos versus pizza, and they're all voting on it. So I know that they have the capability to vote on the poll. It's just going to take time to build that trust. And as you share the value, and like I said, with the challenge pack, you're sharing what your challenge group looks like and you're sharing all those things, they're going to tap, and the conversation is going to be so much more easy, like natural and flow, rather than being like, oh, should I like insert boot camp here and think about it too much, because it's never going to be easy. It's always just going to have to happen, and just like rip the Band-Aid and just do it. That's my tip of advice.
Rip the Band-Aid. I hope you guys wrote that down. Just do it. I love it. Okay, so how about do you guys have any invitation tweaks that you've made, you know, maybe in the last few months or year that you've been really excited about that you feel have produced better conversations? Like, have you seen anything of how you used to do it to what you do now that created better results?
I would just say, like, kind of how Jess was saying, but instead of asking, like, are you interested? Now I'll say, can I send you a sample? So I send them the sample workout. Or like she was saying, can I send you more information? That's like my number one with boot camps. I feel like I've changed. But when it comes to coaching, I used to never send video messages. And now that I'm so confident in what this has done to me, I feel like it just comes naturally. And I feel like that's been working better for me.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that for me, it's been more than just like tweaking the invite. It's tweaking my messaging on social media. It's tweaking, like, what am I offering people? I'm very much wired to find solutions for problems. And so I take my own emotions out of whatever I'm going through, and I objectively look at social media right now. I know a lot of people can't handle it and have chosen to come off social media. And my perspective is, never has there been a time where people need me to show up and be light more than now. Why would I leave a place that so desperately needs hope and encouragement and inspiration? And I don't go to social media to consume. I go there to give. And I think that that's a really important shift. And I don't know, a thing I've identified this year. And then being able to talk about the elephant in the room. Now, everyone's different and has different values and different beliefs and different things that are important to them. And I think above all that we have to be true to who we are and remember that we're here to serve people and that we're not here to cause division, but we are here to, like, be able to be in the hard conversations with people too. And what that does is it establishes trust, and people support businesses that they trust the people. That's why, so showing up on your social media and in your stories is so powerful, because people feel like they know you. Has this ever happened to any of you where random people will come up to you at the grocery store like they're your best friend and you have no idea who they are? At least that's happened to me, and it's happened to my poor husband. And they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, hi! I follow your wife on Instagram," and he's like, "Cool." Mind you, he worked in a prison before, so it wasn't always good when you ran into people who knew you at the grocery store. But I think that more than invites, that my messaging, like my marketing, my conversation has shifted to talk about, like, let's talk about the struggle of isolation right now in COVID. Let's talk about the hard of not knowing what to, and who to believe. Let's talk about quarantine. And I remember when it first happened in like March-ish, I put together on Canva like a quarantine resource. Like, here's some of my favorite healthy recipes from the Beachbody On Demand blog. Here's some free workouts. Here's some activities to do with your kids. And I created that on Canva, and I was like, hey, shoot me your email if you want this. That's a great way to build up your email list, you know? So just being like solutions oriented rather than only focusing on the problem, I think is an important skill in this business.
I love that. I love all of it. You guys, this was an amazing call. We only have a few minutes left, but I did want to open it up because those were the questions that came in ahead of time. But if there's anyone that has a question that's on the call, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask, because these leaders are at your disposal. And if you didn't take, a million pages of notes like I did, now's your chance to, whatever that burning question is, to get out, because these two are really amazing leaders. And I feel like, Nicole's asked this twice. I felt like it was answered. But what do you do, Jess, after they fill out your form? What's your process for?
Thank you for asking that again, Nicole, because I was going to go back to it. So after they fill out my form, I build their share cart. So I'll just share. I put it in the link, but my form has just basic questions about their goals and like what they're interested in. So it's in the chat if you want to look at it. But I have them put their email address, their phone name, how they found me, if they knew they wouldn't fail, where would they like to be in 3 months, what are some of their roadblocks, if they're willing to invest in a health program, what's their energy, digestion, stress levels, and sleep are. I have them rate those, and their confidence in their ability to be successful. What are their biggest barriers to being successful? I think this is a very important question. So, like, I'm not going to recommend 80-day obsession for someone who has time constraints. And then I have a couple, like, I need to edit this since our challenge packs come with both nutritional programs, but I have like a nutrition question. And then I start getting product specific. So would they be interested in a cleanse? Would they be interested in Energize, Recover, Bevy, Beach Bars, Collagen? And then I ask what flavor of Shakeology. I don't give them an option of whether or not they're doing it because I believe in it that much. And then here's my coaching questions here. So once they fill that out, I'm building their share cart as I'm looking over their form. And then I send them the link. After I build their share cart, I send them the link with the voice memo. And I say, hey, thank you so much for filling out my form. That was really helpful. I put your recommendations together. I wanted to explain to you really quickly what it includes. And over a voice memo, I'll address the 5 things. So Beachbody On Demand for a year, plus a VIP program, lifetime access to both our premium nutrition programs, Shakeology, which is going to support, fill in the blank of what their goals are. It's going to support your stress with what you're going through, your energy levels as a busy mom, your digestion that you want to improve, whatever they say they need. I threw on the 3-day refresh, which you get 50% off. That's going to kickstart your metabolism, and you're going to see results in just 3 days. It also includes my coaching and support, of course, and your coach membership, which will give you everything at 25% off. So over voice memo, it's a lot easier and less words. And then I shoot that to them, and then I tell them, I'm really excited to work with you. Let me know what you think. We can edit, add, or delete anything from this recommendation. So that's what I do after I send them the form. And I have a very high conversion rate with that.
Wow. So that is like literally from you invite them, or is this, usually this converts better if they've reached out to you?
Either way, I send them my form as soon as they tell me that they have questions about working together, or they're interested in one.
You don't even have a discussion with them via chat and go back and forth and like get to know them there at all. You just go straight to this form and then fill out a share card. I can't, like, that blows my mind. That's awesome.
It ends up being a lot more time efficient for me. And I mean, granted, it works for me because of how I approach it. And I say, this form will give me a better idea about you and what you're looking for. So I'm putting myself in that place as a professional. I want to make a custom recommendation for them, but I can't do that till they answer these questions. So it's basically, instead of saying, what are your top 3 health goals? And they answer me. And then I say, okay, based on that, what are your biggest barriers? And like, instead of going back and forth like that, it's just in one place.
So how many, did you find that sometimes you send that form, I'm sure you send it sometimes and they don't even fill it out because they're probably see it and they're like, whoa, I just wanted to like know what's happening, right? Like, how do you feel like that conversion goes?
So that honestly doesn't happen very often to me, but it does happen sometimes. And then I'll just reach back out to them and I will say, hey, just wondering if you had a chance to fill out the form. I can also start just by like, why don't you just give me an idea of what it is you're looking for, and I'll let you know how I can best support you. And I really do try to keep that client like, I look at it like they're hiring me, so why should they join me? I need to first make sure they know the value I can offer them, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's awesome.
That's a good response.
I like
that.
I like that. Yeah. There's one more in the chat. Let's see. So, like, what do you do after someone you've been talking to, they're interested and you know them, and then they choose to do something else like the gym or classes or something like that? The question is, do you continue to follow up? And I'll let you guys answer it. I'll tell you what of course you do, but what do you guys do with that?
I usually I'll say, awesome, that's great. I'm so glad you found something that works for you. do they give you meal plans? Or to ask mostly about nutrition at that point, because I know that 99% of those places aren't giving you the resources that we give you. But I don't follow up as often, but I'll follow up every 2 to 3 months, just because I know that for me, I fell off so many times going to the gym, doing CrossFit, doing all the things. And I wish someone would have cared, but I just kept trying to go do the next thing, kind of hide from it. So I just go back to my tendencies and what I was like, because I know that I'm going to attract those same similar people. But I think Ashley kind of hit it on the head too.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And like I was just going to say, what Ash just put in capitals in the comments, keep showing up. Keep explaining why what we're doing is different than going to the gym. Why we're doing is different than Weight Watchers. Why, like, you, and you don't have to use that necessarily, but inadvertently using, like, continue to highlight the 5 things that you offer your clients, the 5 things you offer your clients, the 5 things you offer your clients at only this price. Like, that's amazing. These are the results. Keep showing results from people doing our programs. If you don't have a team, use Beachbody On Demand blog. Go be resourceful and tell people why this works. And eventually they're going to come around. That's my, yeah. And then to answer Bryn's question about what our Success Club averages are, for me, it's hard to average. Like last month I was at SC 24, and I will tell you that last month, like October, we literally uprooted our entire family and moved across state, like to a different state from California to North Idaho. And we all had COVID last month. And we had, like, it was the most insane month, but I had a goal. My goal was to help 20 people get started with their transformation. There's only been 2 months in 4.5 years where I've been under SC 10. So it's just between, like, I don't know, SC 10, I think my highest was SC 54, but I'm not usually on that higher end. It's between SC 10 and SC 20 usually.
Yeah, I feel pretty similar. Like my highest is SC 60, but I felt like I was constantly trying to find, like trying to make sure I'm checking in with everyone. And to me, it just never feels as good when I know I'm letting some people slip through the cracks. So I feel like my average is probably around 30, I would say, between 20 and 30. But there's only been, again, like she said, 1 month where I haven't hit under SC 10. So, I mean, I just think about it at the end of the day, what is your income goal? If your income goal is to make, say, $500, hitting SC 10 is barely, scraping by. Like that's really going to pay for your products and a little bit more. And so you got to really align what your goals are and your income goals and where you want your team to go based on your Success Club numbers.
Boom. I love it. All right, guys. If there's no other questions, I would love to still be respectful of everyone's time, as it has been an hour. So Maddie and Jessica, thank you guys so much for your time and expertise. It was absolutely amazing. I'm sure we'll get the recording out to the leaders and then into team pages. So if you missed any part of it, look for that recording. Otherwise, thank you all very, very much, and we will see you next week.
Bye, guys. Merry Christmas.